I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot.
Welcome in to the Goose and the Griz podcast. We are here to bring you the biz for everything week one of the maximum effort, minimum results league. And he is Goose, and I am pissed. That is what's happening. Why? Because it's week one, and we are about to find out exactly why. I am not just the Griz, but I am a pissed Griz. Because we have a special guest today that is going to be here to rub it all in my face all over again, because one night wasn't enough. Let's bring in Manny, my arch nemesis. Can't even say it's a rivalry at this point.
So we're here to review the game of the week. So you guys got the game of the week. This is very rare to have two people in the matchup. So we'll go through it real quick. So Manny won by 0.25. We'll go over that a little bit. Manny, I want you to watch a clip real quick and see if it brings back any memories.
Man, that's a kill this number right there. Yeah, that's a kill this one right there.
Now, was it that one, Jordan, or was it the other one?
I believe it was that one. Yeah, that was
a replay, Jordan.
Because I think he needed like I don't know how many yards to get that to the 100 yards and get that extra point.
He got 102.
Hey, don't worry, Jordan was at the game. He was in the stands.
Yeah, pretty much. Felt like
Jordan
it was.
Look, I promise you. Look, there's Jordan right there. I spotted
Yep,
him.
that's me. Hey, look at that. I got more hair.
Oh, no. This is Jordan right now at this exact moment. What's about to happen?
Disaster.
And this is
Yeah, I think this is it right here.
Ah.
That was it right there. Yep. As soon as that happened, I looked at the score and I was like, I thought I had a point to give. I thought he was going to be like a point behind me. No dice.
It was that 100 yards.
Yep. 100-yard bonus, Manny, man, you get me every time. It doesn't matter, but I take a little solace in the fact that it was a damn good game, man. And I kind of shot myself in the foot with who I decided to start. I was worried about Brees playing, so I started Tony. That was a mistake, but you know, you overthink yourself. But nonetheless, man, you're in the win. Congratulations, dude. I mean, it's not like it's an accident or something. You've been beating me more times than not. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. That was a crazy game. I was sweating. I was over here screaming at Josh Allen like, like, come on, man. That's crazy.
All those interceptions.
I didn't think that he was gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? Like that fourth quarter, I was like, oh man, I still needed like that fourth quarter. I still needed, I think, 8 points or 10 points.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, he did it. But, you know, there's always something to happen. You know what I'm saying? That he to fumble the ball.
That's what Jordan was saying. Jordan's saying he wanted him to go to overtime and fumble the ball.
Yep, just getting end around, fumble it, lose it, do something. Just that was the only hope that I had at that point. I didn't even want it to go to overtime. I was until he got that catch, and it was like, God, just give me something. But nope. Powers that be said nope. That's what you get for starting Tony.
Oof. So this was a hell of a matchup. It was pretty evenly matched. Obviously, we had Stephon Diggs, 10 catches, 102 yards, touchdown. That was Manny's top player of the week. Jordan, you had a hell of an outing from Christian McCaffrey himself. 22 carries, 152 yards, 3 receptions, 17 yards, 1 touchdown, and he got you 32 points. So I mean, you got some players over there too.
I'm happy with things going forward. It sucks to lose week one, but you got to keep the end goal in sight. It just sucks to get off to an 0-1 start. But at the same time, yeah, like you were saying, it was extremely close. I mean, how close? I know that we when we get into our segment about the high five, the starting five, the flexes, and the bench, Manny and I tied 71 points to 71 points with our quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. Our flex, he got 0.25 more than me. Of course, there's the difference, right? And then even in our bench, we weren't that far away. We were about 14 points away, 73 to 59.5. So, I'll take some solace in the fact that I hung with Manny. I came 0.25 points away. Normally, it's like, 100.25 points away. So it's going to be interesting if we play again, because I don't think we play again unless we happen to meet in the playoffs, and I'd welcome that rematch, absolutely.
If it wasn't for that 2-5, you would have beat me with the bench.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be a whole different story. Just that little bit, that baby tight end premium. Anybody who thinks that doesn't matter, that absolutely mattered in this game. First week, it came to fruition. So, what are you going to do, right?
Crazy. So before we let you go, ask you a question each. I'll ask you about the Eagles. You always have Jalen Hurts. He didn't have such a hot game, first game back. A lot of people were rusty. He only had 12 points. He had 107 yards passing, 1 touchdown. He did fumble in that game. They end up getting the win, though, so they beat the Patriots. How you feel about that win?
I mean, a win is a win, right?
Right.
But they were playing a good defense. And plus, the Eagles were rusty. They didn't use them in the preseason. Not one snap, I don't think. Yeah. So they were kind of rusty. But I'm not worried, though. I think we could take the Vikings out on Thursday.
Oh, yeah. I think that's going to be another shellacking right there, especially that defensive line versus that horrible offensive line.
We got a couple of injuries now, but Jalen Carter is a monster, man.
Wow.
He's been playing and
Steal of the draft.
Training camp, preseason, everything.
That's what I was going to ask you. Who do you think is the biggest threat to the Eagles' road to the Super Bowl? You think it's the 49ers?
Yeah. I don't think the Cowboys. That's it.
Cowboys look good. That's going to be a fun matchup when they end up facing each other.
Yeah.
That's going to
Cowboys
be
always look good, though.
See, I actually would disagree. I think the Cowboys are the bigger threat, and I don't think it's because I think the Cowboys are better than the 49ers. It's that the Eagles got to play the Cowboys twice, and if the Eagles don't start pulling it together in the second half a little bit, and if they don't take that division and they end up having to play as a wild card team, that could mess up their chances more than if they're able to, just play the 49ers once in the playoffs,
Yeah, I mean, it's early in the season. But, yeah, you guys don't play Dallas till Week 9. That'll be November 5. So you got quite a bit of games to get warmed up for that.
And you got a hard schedule.
And that's at Dallas. So, I mean, it's in Philly. So you guys get to, take them at home. It's very nice.
Cowboys and Eagles every year.
Every year, right?
Every year.
it's going to be fireworks.
Either we split the series or, I don't think, 2-0. Probably in split the series one this year, probably 1-1. Home team wins 1-1. I mean, who do I play next? Alex, right? I think.
Yep.
I think it's Alex, right?
Yeah.
2-1.
Yeah, next week you got Alex. Tua tongue her till she's waddling. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting, man. You got a good squad. We had some lower scores this week, so 113 is nothing to wince at. Yeah. So, but I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how this upcoming schedule works out. We got 13 more games, and then hopefully the playoffs. So, yeah, you and Alex coming up. That's another game that's not in division for either one of you, but we'll see what happens.
It's a heavyweight fight.
Manny, my brother, it was good to see you, man. It was I wish it was under better circumstances, but hey, things happen in fantasy. It's crazy, but move on to the next week and do the best you can, right?
Hey, I thought it was great. I thought it was great, Manny. Strong work there, I was enjoying it the whole time. I usually don't like to, root for, rivals, but I enjoyed that one.
Hey,
that's all right. We'll get to your game in a second, Goose.
We're not even in the division no more, so.
No, that's it, buddy.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, brother. Take it easy, all right?
All right.
Yeah, that was tough to stomach, but things happen, right? So, without further ado, let's just get into the rest of the games before I have to taste some tears here. Next up, Dynasty belt game, first one in league history. Well, Goose, we talked about my loss here. You had a chance to take the Dynasty belt, and you weren't able to do it here. You lost to Saheed. In regards to what group of players mattered the most, Saheed outscored you in the high five, 81-56. You outscored him in the bench, the 57-43 and a quarter. and then his bench outscored you 53 to 37.5. What area do you think mattered the most here for you?
For me, I think kind of dropped the ball there with Deion Jackson. I had a rough start with my boys, my Pittsburgh Feelers. By the way, that's my new name. So I hope you like it. Nice. Anyways,
Nice.
they played San Francisco, so we knew that was going to be ugly, and obviously, we
Super
lost
ugly.
bodies out there. So ugly game. Overall, I think the team, did okay for week one. Sahib just came through, man. His guys, Jacoby Myers, 29 points, went off 9 receptions, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. By the way, took my 2 years in New England to reach that mark. So he did it
Yeah.
in one game with the Raiders. So I think that was the key point for Sahib. Also, Justin Jefferson and Calvin really just going out there and being the alphas that they really are.
Yeah, tough loss, but it's only week one, and hey, at least you lost by 11.5. Trust me, it can be worse than that. Other game of the week, but we spell this one differently. WEAK, Hector over Jeff. This one was like a 90s NBA game, 81, and actually more like a WNBA game, I'd say. 81.5 to 61.75. Oh man, this one was tough to watch. High five. I don't even know if you can call it a high five. Jeff outscored Hector 47 to 39. Flex is where I think the difference was, obviously. Hector got him 42.5 to just under 15. Jeff did have a lot bigger of a bench, 40.75 to 9.25, but that flex advantage there seemed to be insurmountable for Jeff, don't you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, there's not a lot to write home about in this game. If I had to put a name to this matchup, I would call it the Dunkin' Donuts matchup. That's kind of what stuck out to me. Was the 0 points that their players got them or didn't get them. T. Higgins for Hector.
Touchdowns.
That was just you're probably never gonna see that again unless he gets hurt in the game. Dallas Goddard 0 points. So anytime you put a person out there in the starting lineup, you get 0 points. That's gonna hurt big time, and you're gonna need somebody else on the team to step up. But I can definitely saw the deficiencies here for sure.
Well, the good news is we now have a game to go to if we ever have a storm approach, because we know there's never going to be any touchdowns here.
Go
So
ahead.
Kyle and Lewis. This one was another pretty low scoring one, but at least somebody got close to 100. Kyle beat Lewis 97 to 80. The high five. Kyle really held it over Lewis here, 70 to 31. Flex was in Lewis's favor, 49 to 26, and their bench actually scored exactly the same. So if they would have tied each other, they would have actually gone to the bench, and I don't know what tiebreaker we have after that. Thankfully, though, it wasn't that close. Seems to me that the high five advantage for Kyle is the difference there, but I also think the difference is, sorry to say it, Rachaad White in the third and Geno Smith in the eighth. What do you say?
Yeah, I know Lewis is gonna get a lot of flack this week for that Rachaad White pick. Yeah, it wasn't a terrible matchup against Minnesota. But there is a silver lining, right? And that's Austin Eckler, 16 carries, 117 yards, and a touchdown, 29 total points. I mean, he put up enough points here to get this win.
Yeah, he definitely got a solid. I mean, it's not spectacular, but Patrick Mahomes will have better days. Lewis does have Eckler, but don't know if you saw it. Eckler is dealing with an injury right now. We'll have to see how serious that is. So, hope that he's able to overcome that. Next up, our old buddies Alex and Sam, my brother from another mother, your brother, period. Alex won this one, taking the Super Bowl from a couple years ago and reversing it, 126 to 78.5. High five advantage here goes to Alex, 82 to 47. He also had the advantage of bench, 44 to 31.5. Sam got, in the flex, 44 to 31.5. The bench advantage goes to Sam only by 3.5 points. So, really the story of the game here is Alex's starters just whack Sam's.
Yeah, Alex has a pretty strong team, especially with that Miami Dolphins connection. For Sam, I'm going to call this Hell's Kitchen because all the cooks were burning the food in the kitchen. James Cook 9 points, Dalvin Cook 8 points, and Brandon Cooks 4 points. Anytime you have 3 Cooks doing that, it's not going to.
Gordon Ramsay's pissed.
Yeah, it's not going to be pretty. So, definitely, there's better days. Drake London 0. That's tough to come back from. Alex should be looking pretty happy. He did have Sky Moore. Right? It's an oppa week, right? Like all these 0 points in those lineups. It's so uncommon.
So crazy, man.
But
and it's so much talent that got the 0 points, you know?
Exactly. These were starters. They didn't get hurt in the game. They played the full set of snaps. So it's tough to see that in the final box score. But in the end, Alex definitely pulled this one out. He has a hell of a team moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely, man.